Knicks insider Ian Begley has revealed multiple trade updates involving Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride and their futures with the team, since they are really the only two tradable contracts left, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. Yes, the background is different, and we're going to jump right into the video because the New York Knicks went out there, obviously, made the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Julius Randle was probably the most realistic tradable contract that they had left outside of Mitchell Robinson and sort of Deuce McBride, though he's not very tradable. Ian Begley recently broke down the situation with every single player who could possibly get traded, which was really just those two, and kind of talked about their futures with the Knicks. So let's jump into it. Now, Begley mentioned the Pelicans have been signaling for a while in regards to a Mitchell Robinson-Trey Murphy swap that they value Trey Murphy highly and see him as a vital part of their future. So it would be surprising to see New Orleans move Trey Murphy for a package involving Mitchell Robinson. Begley hasn't said that to slight Robinson also, and that Mitchell Robinson actually is a very, very good trade asset when he is healthy, and he would have high value around the league. Now, obviously, I think all of us stood by, all right, having Trey Murphy for Mitchell Robinson is a complete win for the New York Knicks. And looking at it, yeah, I mean, Trey Murphy would be awesome off the bench. It solves your bench scoring issue, which is the one big fear the Knicks bench has at this moment, is just putting points up on the board, going out there, getting buckets essentially off the bench, because you have Mikal Bridges, who is going to play a lot of time with that bench unit. He's going to be a good scorer for them. The Knicks are going to see what Deuce McBride can do off the bench as a scorer, but also, as we all know, there's the Marcus Smart rumors. There was the Trey Murphy rumors, and it appears that that will not be happening. And it feels like the more and more we get into this when looking at Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks are not going to find a trade that they are willing to make where they will move on from Mitchell Robinson. I just don't see that being likely at this point. The Knicks most likely value Mitchell Robinson more than any other team in the league because of Mitch's injuries. Teams are definitely going to be afraid of him. While the Knicks, they're working hard to get Mitchell Robinson back and fully healthy, and they're willing to wait. It's why he's not going to be back till January. Yeah, Mitch could show up and play in like late November, but he wouldn't be 100%. And the Knicks and Mitchell Robinson have been adamant about Mitchell being 100% next time that he steps on the floor for the team. Honestly, that's the right move. Mitch has dealt with so many injuries. He dealt with a re-injury, Joel Embiid injuring him. So much has went wrong for Mitchell Robinson on the injury front that if he just... It doesn't make sense to rush the man back anymore. That just doesn't make any sense at all. But Begley continued. He also mentioned that in a perfect world, the Knicks could bring Robinson along slowly with the goal of having him healthy for the postseason, but things are rarely perfect in the NBA. Injuries or subpar individual performance could lead to the Knicks to seek an upgrade via trade. Robinson is making a team-friendly deal, making $14.3 million this season and $12.9 million in the next year, which is the final year of his contract that he signed in 2022. If you look at the current Knicks roster, Robinson and Deuce McBride are probably the best realistic trade chips. Now, I still do think eventually we're going to see Precious Achiuwa get moved sometime this season. It's just not exactly clear when that is. And once Precious gets moved, it would make sense that it would be for a big man. If the Knicks want to still move Mitchell Robinson, specifically Nick Richards, would make the most sense in this scenario. And we're going to see if the Knicks go out there and decide to move Precious or if they do want to hang on to it. But the Knicks like Precious Achiuwa. They're not in a rush to trade him. They just understand that if they have to make a trade, him and his one-year, $6 million contract is valuable because it's a one-year deal. Teams can dictate what they want to do with Precious Achiuwa. They can kind of decide what they want to do with Precious in the future. So it does work out. It does make some sense for the Knicks to go out there and do just that. Now, also involving Deuce McBride, yes, he's someone who's been brought up in trades, but it is hard to imagine Deuce getting traded, and I mean, that's kind of what we've seen. As Begley mentioned, that he would assume there's not much support within the Knicks organization for moving Deuce. The Knicks, as currently consulted, will need him on both ends of the floor, or constituted, will need him on both ends of the floor. The situation with Mitch is obviously a little different. The 26-year-old center is still rehabbing from an offseason foot surgery and is expected to be back between December and January if there are no setbacks. But Begley can't see New Orleans moving Trey Murphy at all, let alone for a player who's rehabbing from a surgery, because of how good he is putting up 14 points per game and the team-friendly contracts that he's on. There will be a market for Mitchell Robinson. It just doesn't involve a player as good as Trey Murphy, which is very fair. Now, on top of that, we also see that Deuce McBride is not getting moved, which is obviously a very good sign. Now, Mitchell Robinson puts up 5.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, gets a block, gets a steal per game, and that was on injuries for the most part. So I think we will see a better Mitchell Robinson than we did last season, because this season, I mean, he was phenomenal. He was having the best season of his career up until the injury. Up until December 9th, Mitchell Robinson was great. There was a time where outside of R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson was the second best player, or looked like the second best player on the team last season. Brunson started a little slow within the arc. Great three-point shooting, but not anywhere else. And Julius Randle, who's no longer even on the Knicks, was not playing well at all due to an ankle injury. Now, also, it is important to note that Deuce McBride has been one heck of a basketball player for the Knicks. 8 points off the bench, 1.5 rebounds, 2 assists, shoots 41% from 3, and 46% from the corner at still just a young age of 24. The Knicks think that Deuce can make another step towards becoming a better player, towards kind of taking over that Emmanuel Quickley sixth-man bench scoring role, and I actually could totally see it. Deuce is comfortable creating his own shot. He's comfortable playing off the ball and on the ball. He's someone who, playing with Mikal Bridges, yeah, like when Bridges is leading the bench unit, he's going to be their primary shot creator. Deuce is going to be next up to take a lot of big shots, make a lot of plays, run the offense at times if Cameron Payne or Tyler Kolek or obviously Jalen Brunson are not on the floor. That falls on Deuce's shoulders. Mikal Bridges is he's not a point guard. He's not going to be bringing the ball up. That's going to be Deuce's job to help run the offense in that case. The Knicks don't have much playmaking outside of Jalen Brunson. Now, yes, Tyler Kolek is a phenomenal playmaker for a second-round rookie, but he is still a second-round rookie. It's not exactly expected for Kolek to get minutes. Cameron Payne's an all-right playmaker, but he's more of a shooter than anything else. So it's an interesting scenario here. I really think what we're going to see is we're going to see a pretty sizable jump in Deuce McBride's game, and I don't think the Knicks would ever want to trade that. He's on such a bargain contract. Why would they move on from Deuce? Maybe in the future if they realize they won't be able to pay him, but that's not this year. They have Deuce under contract for a few more years, and as Begley mentions, Deuce is going to have to play a massive role with the New York Knicks this season. This is not anything other than a contender when you look at the Knicks. This team is trying to win every game. They're trying to win the NBA Finals, and you need a bench to do that. And trading away Dante DiVincenzo, it made their bench worse because you also gave away Keita Bates-Diop. You gave away some guys on the team who could give, specifically Dante, who were going to get baskets off the bench. Like, yes, again, they have a bunch of scorers in the starting lineup, and they'll stagger the lineup to where it works. I trust Thibodeau can get that done. But still, the bench scoring is kind of weak when you just compare the starters of Brunson, Hart, and by the way, Deuce might start over Josh Hart, Mikal, OG, Towns. Phenomenal scoring lineup. The bench, especially if it's Josh Hart on the bench, you got Josh Hart, Precious Achiuwa. They're not going to give that many points. Cameron Payne's a solid scorer, but he's not exactly the lead scorer off the bench. Maybe he can be. Maybe he's going to have a great season, but he's not exactly, that's not really what you're looking for from Cameron Payne. That's a lot to ask for him, and maybe he can get it done. But also on top of that, I mean, the bench just got a little thinner, and the Knicks are going to have to figure that out. I think the answer is, as much as I want Deuce to start, I think it makes sense to start Josh Hart in the sense that the Knicks need more shot creation off that bench. It doesn't matter how you're staggering the minutes. You need more bench shot creation. The best way to do that is to keep Deuce on the bench and on the New York Knicks, more importantly. I have a feeling all Knicks fans are going to agree to that. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn on post notifications. Let me know what you think of the new setup. We're changing things up. This old background is going to change also. So, guys, hopefully you like the new setup. Have a great day, and go Knicks.